Okay, we all know that the Notes app on our phone can technically record voice notes. But let's be real, have you ever actually gone back and organized any of those? Yeah, me neither. Now this right here is the Mobvoi TicNote. It's about as thin as a credit card. It snaps to the back of your phone and it claims that it can record, transcribe, summarize, translate, and even organize your thoughts for you. Now, if that's true, this might be one of the most useful gadgets I've tested all year. So let's check it out. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here, and welcome back to the Spare Tech Room, where I try to help you make better tech choices. Now, in full disclosure, Mobvoi did send me the TicNote, and this video is sponsored by them. However, everything I say in this video is going to be my own personal opinion and based on what I've found testing this out for the past few weeks. All right, quick unboxing so we're on the same page. You get the TicNote itself, which is ridiculously small and light. There's a PU magnetic leather case that snaps onto the back of your phone, kind of like a MagSafe wallet. Now, if your phone isn't MagSafe, then they do include a little magnetic ring that you can stick onto the back of your case to make it work. Also, you get a little magnetic charging cable. There's definitely no room for a USB-C plug on something this thin, so it just snaps onto the back. And then the usual quick start guide and paperwork, and that's about it. Physically, this thing is all about just staying out of your way. It is credit card thin. It's around 29 grams or so with an aluminum body, so it definitely doesn't feel cheap at all. You also get a tiny OLED display on it up front to show your battery, your Bluetooth status, and whether or not it's recording. On the side, there's a little power/record button and a simple toggle to change between the two different modes. You have an ambient recording mode, which you would use for meetings or lectures or just conversations and brain dumps. And there's a phone call mode, which is for, of course, recording calls. Now, quick note, that's through the phone receiver, not through Bluetooth or anything like that. Inside of the TicNote, you get 64 gigs of storage, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that is hundreds of hours of audio recording. And you can get up to 25 hours of continuous recording on a single charge. And of course, if you leave it in standby mode, then it's gonna last for weeks. Now, there's no speaker or headphone jack on the device. The playback happens through an app that you would download on your phone or on your computer. And honestly, I'm fine with that. The value here isn't in listening back to raw audio, it's in what the software does with that audio. Now, using the TicNote is dead simple. You just press and hold the power button for 2 seconds and you're gonna feel a little haptic buzz and then it starts recording. You hold the button again to stop it and that's it. If you got it paired with your phone, it'll sync your recordings automatically over Bluetooth or hop onto Wi-Fi if the file is just way too big for Bluetooth. You can also control it from the app if you want to. I'll just basically stick the case on the back of my phone and kind of just forget it's there. Or if I'm in a meeting, I'll just set it on the table, or if I'm out walking or, cleaning up around the house or something, if I'm driving, I'll just have it there, pretty much hands-free. The point is that there's just no friction with it. Okay, let's talk about the software a little bit because this is where the TicNote really earns its keep. As soon as a recording syncs to the TicNote app, which you can get on iOS or Android or on your computer as a web app, their AI, which is called Shadow, gets right to work. It'll automatically transcribe, basically turning your audio into text in real time, and it supports 100 or over 100 languages and dialects. You also get speaker labels, which is basically if you're in a group conversation setting, it will separate out and label different speakers so you can see, who said what. Then it can summarize, it'll condense a long call or a lecture into just clean bullet points and, decisions or action items or just key takeaways. You also get mind maps, which is really cool. It visually organizes the whole conversation, topics and branches and, different sub points. It's all like really super handy for planning or for studying. Then you get aha moments. Now, these are little golden nuggets that you didn't really ask for. They're kind of just insight surfaced automatically. Then there's the option for deep research. Now, this is just one click and it's gonna pull up context about the topics that you mentioned in your recording so that you can go deeper into it without having to leave the app. Then probably my favorite thing that this does is translation. You can record in one language and translate into another. So you can take your English transcript and just flip it over into Spanish or French or whatever language you want. Then there's shadow chat, which is that AI I mentioned earlier. And with that, after it processes your recording, you can just chat with your notes and ask questions or find a quote inside of the context or generate a checklist. And you don't have to be copying and pasting and searching around. Now, all of this syncs to the cloud and to your desktop in real time, so you can record on the go and then just finish up at your computer later. All right, let me kind of paint a couple of everyday scenarios so that you know where this is going to help you out. First off, the one that I use it for is just, brain dumping when I'm trying to come up with a script for a video. I'll just talk through an idea, kind of just outline the video while I'm making coffee or just walking around. And then 10 minutes later, I will open up the app and I've got a full transcript and a summary and a mind map and even a few just, aha ideas that I didn't consciously plan out. I can literally drag those bullet points into my script and just keep it moving. And that saves a ton of time. Then there's meetings where you can just plop TicNote in the middle of the table and it's gonna label the different speakers. It's gonna generate a clean summary. It's gonna spit out action items. That way, nobody has to sit there and be the note taker of the meeting. You just leave immediately with something useful instead of an hour-long audio blob that you're never going to actually re-listen to. It's also big for students. A lecture starts and you just press record on your TicNote, and then after class, you've got a whole searchable transcript and a summary and a mind map of the entire lecture. So instead of just wondering where to start with your studying, you're going to have automatically several different branches that you're going to need to review. You can also use it for interviews or podcasts. You can basically capture the entire conversation and again, separate out speakers or pull quotes. And if you're on a deadline, it's going to make a huge difference between, having to get to it later or just having it right there immediately. I think it's also big for travel, especially if you are in a kind of multilingual environment. You can translate notes or even full transcripts into a different language. Now, I don't think it's perfect when it comes to that. I mean, really, no translator is going to be perfect because of the different dialects and kind of ways of speech that different languages have, but it is surprisingly good. Now, the transcription accuracy for me has been absolutely solid. If you're speaking clearly, it's going to be great. Even if there's some light background noise, it's still really good. The kind of built-in noise reduction in the app really cleans things up for the transcript. Now, of course, it's not a broadcast microphone or anything like that. It's a smart recorder. And the audio is definitely clear enough for your average human to hear, and it's definitely excellent for AI to parse through. And really, that's the goal here. A couple small things that I really like about it are the automatic titles that it assigns, which are usually really relevant, and it saves a lot of organizational time. Then there's the live transcription. So while you're recording, if you have your phone open, you're gonna literally see the words appear as you talk. All right, let's do some quick pros and cons here, just rapid fire. Pro number one, it is ridiculously portable. It just lives on your phone and it's always ready to use. Number two, it's really simple to use. Again, just one button to record and the app kind of takes it from there. Next up, I think the AI here is excellent. I mean, the fact that it can summarize and create mind maps and label speakers and help you with deep research, it is really, really helpful. Then of course, there's the cross-device experience. Being able to go from the mobile app to the web app in real time with it syncing is great. Next up, you got to talk about the battery life. I mean, it is wild. You really just don't think about charging it very often at all. And the fact that there's 64 gigs of built-in memory is incredible. You don't have to worry about SD cards or anything like that. And really, with audio recording, that thing is not going to fill up for a long time. The last pro I'll throw out there are the translation and the multi-language support. I think that's a huge bonus. But of course, there are some cons, so let's talk about them. First up is that there's no built-in playback on the device. Everything routes through the app and into your phone. Now, of course, if you had speakers on it, it would probably have to be bulkier, so that's just kind of a trade-up that you have to give. Then there's the fact that the phone call recording is done through your phone's receiver and not through Bluetooth or anything like that. That is a little bit of a con, although it works surprisingly well, which is weird. Then I'll say the proprietary magnetic charger. I really wish they could use USB-C on this, but I get it. It's, again, a side effect of it being so small is you just can't fit a USB-C plug on here. Last up, I guess a con could be the little OLED display. It's really tiny and it's really just meant for control and status features and things like that. I imagine it would cost way more money if you had just a full screen OLED display. Okay, so who is the Mobvoi TicNote actually for? Who should really buy this? I think if you're a student or a content creator or a journalist or a project manager or some kind of executive, anybody who lives in meetings and ideas, then this absolutely makes sense. If your job or your studies depend on turning conversations into output, decisions and scripts and briefs and study guides, then I think TicNote absolutely earns its keep really fast. But if you just want a recorder to use every now and then and you don't really care about summaries and organization, your phone's probably gonna be enough for that. Okay, here's my honest verdict after using this a bunch. I think the magic isn't that the TicNote records audio. The magic is that it turns talking into something that you can use without turning your whole life into a spreadsheet. You could take a 10-minute brain dump and turn it into a full-on outline. Or you can sit through an hour-long meeting and have it immediately turn into just a one-page summary or a to-do list. Or if you're just having kind of a messy group conversation, you could turn that into a mind map. Now, could you hack together something similar with a bunch of different apps, ChatGPT and your phone and all that? Yeah, sure, you could, but would you actually want to do that every day? Probably not. What TicNote does that's so special is that it lowers the friction enough that you'll actually capture and organize more of your ideas. That's the real win. And for me, it's just the difference between, I should write that down and it's done. It's already organized. And that's why I'm keeping it on the back of my phone. And I know that some people are just gonna say, why not use the voice memo app in your phone and dump that into an AI? And you can, and if that workflow works for you, then amazing. The TicNote advantage is that it is one motion. You record, it syncs, it transcribes, it summarizes, it organizes. You don't have to export it. You don't have to upload it somewhere. There's no memorizing what to do next. And with the shadow chat feature, that means that you can just interrogate your notes after the fact, like it was a teammate that was in the room with you. It's not trying to replace your phone. It's really just good at one specific job. Now, if you want to check out the Mobvoi TicNote, I'm going to have links in the description and as a pinned comment. I'll also throw in any discount code if I can, wrangle one from them. If this video helped you out, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and do me a favor, drop a comment down below. Let me know, how are you taking your notes right now? Are you old school pen and paper forever? Or are you using voice memos or Notion? I'm really curious about what's working for you. Either way, thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you next time in the spare tech room. Be good.